Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the WPS podcast. That is Why People Suck. My name is Celia, and I'm joined by my co host, best friend, and sister, Alejandra.
Hi, everyone. Glad to be back for another episode where we break down the everyday scenarios where people are super annoying and talk about what we can actually do about it. We say it so you don't have to. Today's episode, we're talking about annoying flight passengers, which is kind of a piggyback off of last week's topic. We're just going to keep talking about all the airline nightmares and everything that's related to it. So I just got off yet another flight the other day. So I have a lot more stories to talk about terrible passengers. But I think the very number one thing that I think everyone can has probably seen at least once or twice is just people acting like they're in their own house and walking around a disgusting, super dirty airplane with bare feet. Even, like, wearing socks is just so disgusting. That floor doesn't even get cleaned that often. I don't like, I've seen just, like, what my kids do to the floor. There's so much food and so many crumbs, and people spill drinks, and obviously, like, there's nothing to clean it with, and the airlines certainly don't clean it very well in between, flights. Like, they might clean it well at the end of the day, so maybe at the beginning of the day, you might get lucky, but I wouldn't even trust that.
Yeah, no, absolutely agreed. I mean, and now with everything always getting delayed, they have way less time to be cleaning the planes. I always find some sort of trash like on my seat or in the seat pocket in front of me, like crumbs or something. Yeah, no, it's so gross. I've definitely seen people walking around barefoot, and I just think to myself, how can you go in those bathrooms like that too?
Oh, that is especially disgusting going into the bathroom with socks or no socks, whatever. Either way, it's disgusting. Like, I don't even wanna go in there with my shoes, but obviously I don't have a choice. But just going in there with your bare feet or your socks into the bathroom, like, people miss is all I'm gonna say. And, you know, again,
Hmm.
you can't you cannot rely on the airlines to be cleaning those bathrooms well, and they certainly are not doing it in between flights, so I just that's disgusting. Like, I can't even, like, you ugh, burn those socks.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And then I'm thinking that some people are so rude that they put their feet like on the armrest in front of them. Have you had that happen to
Oh,
you?
yeah.
Or on the sides, like if you're on a window seat?
Oh, yeah. It's so gross, and you're just like, "Can you not put
Yeah.
your feet in between my seat?" And then there's the people that take their shoes off and put their feet like they're socks. Like, I don't even know what's worse. Wouldn't you think, like I would think maybe your shoes are worse? I don't know, but then if you're just walking around in your socks and then you put your feet up, then that's worse or it's just as bad as if you just put your shoes because your shoes are obviously they're walking around all over the place, so that's super disgusting. Also, that's not your space. Like, people
Mhm.
have no concept of, like, this is the
Yeah.
space that you're assigned, and that's where you should stay. I mean, I know it's a small space, but, that's unfortunately what the day and age that we live in is we don't get a lot of space on our flights, so don't take up someone else's space.
Yeah. Even if it's just the armrest, like when you're sharing the armrest, some people take it over.
Mhm.
And if you're in the middle, I think the idea is that that is mostly yours, but people just are so rude and they'll take over the armrest entirely and have no consideration for the people next to them.
Yeah, I guess I never really thought about that for the middle person, but yeah, that makes sense. I mean, they're the most uncomfortable for sure. They have the least amount of space. So I would yeah, that makes sense to give it to the
Yeah.
person in the sitting in the middle for sure.
Or like you can share, someone goes a bit forward, someone behind, like it works. Just people are
Right.
so inconsiderate.
And then sometimes you have the person that just parks their elbow and then, like, fully from the back and then just has their whole arm on the whole armrest the entire time, so they just take up from front to back, so you can't even stagger.
Yeah, that's super annoying. Oh, and also thinking about inconsiderate people. What about people who put their seat back, even on really short flights? I try to be very considerate because we don't have room, especially if someone's really tall. Like you and I are tall,
Yeah.
not like 6 foot, but anyone above 6 feet, I don't know how they do it. Their knees are touching the seat in front of them. And then when someone reclines, that is just awful. Like for a short flight, like 1 hour, do you really need to recline?
Yeah, I would say I think for the most part, most people don't recline anymore because they understand that, like, the spaces are even smaller. So I think that's, like, an unspoken rule these days that you don't do that. Unless it's like an overnight flight, obviously. But yeah, one time it was a very long flight and it was an overseas flight. And the person in front of me reclined their seat from the very beginning of the flight, like till the very end. And that was really hard when I was trying to eat because the thing was like in my chest, like my little table was in my chest while I was trying to eat. So I was just like looking, like basically like trying to put my face in my food so that I could eat, because I didn't wanna recline my seat and then create that same issue for the person behind me. So I was like, "Why would you do that, especially while we're eating?"
Right.
Like, it's so rude.
Yeah, that is so rude. I'm surprised that a flight attendant didn't say anything because I maybe it's a newer thing, but I have noticed that when the mealtime comes round, they do ask people to move their seat up, which is really good because honestly, that sounds like a nightmare what you went through.
Yeah,
Yeah, and like the TV is like right in front of your eyes and yeah.
yeah, it was. I think this was a long time ago, so maybe it has changed, but yeah, that was not great. I was so annoyed. And I guess I should
Yeah.
have probably just said something to the flight attendant or even just said something to the person like, "Hey, dude, I'm eating. Like, can you at least while we're eating, put the seat up?" I should have probably just said something. But back in the day, I was shyer, I guess, when I was younger.
No, definitely. I think the best advice is always just ask a flight attendant to help when you're in an uncomfortable situation because they should help you. That is just that's not okay.
So the other thing that I was gonna say is that's super annoying is when people talk super loud on their phones or are FaceTiming. Like, I've had like, just a flight actually that I just took back right now. The person not behind me, but, like, on the other side of the aisle, 1 row behind me was, like, the entire time that we were taxiing was, like, on their phone, speaking super loud, was on speaker with the person, was like, "Give me kisses. Okay, I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna get off." And the whole time I was like, "Oh my god, just get off the phone." Like, you're being so annoying and rude. It's so irritating, and everyone around him was like, "What is going on? What are you doing?" It was like the whole time we were texting, which, by the way, you're supposed to have your phone already off by then. You're not supposed to even have it on anymore, and obviously, the flight attendants aren't coming around at that point because they're seated, because 'cause you're not supposed to be on the phone.
Yeah, that's so annoying. No, totally. That has happened to me multiple times and you're just like, staring at them, dagger eyes, but some people
Yeah.
just don't care even if you do that. And other than, like, on the phone, maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but I really am annoyed when parents let their kids listen to their tablets without headphones. I mean, I'm also annoyed when adults do it. I've seen that happen too with adults, but
Mhm.
I'm just like, it's so annoying, it's so loud, like, children's TV shows have those annoying voices and the songs and things, and I'm like, "Please educate your child. This is very annoying for me."
Yeah, for sure. There was a time when, like, my little one didn't wanna wear the headphones, and I was like, "If you don't wear the headphones, you're not gonna watch the show, because that's just not an option, because you're just teaching your kids that it's fine for them to like, you have to get them used to it." Like, I get it, they're not always gonna like to do the things, especially stuff like that, like put stuff on their heads or on their ears, like, that's kinda weird for them, especially when they're really little, but that's how you teach them. It's like, you either do it or you're not gonna get to watch the show that you wanna watch, like, simple as that. And then he might start screaming, and that's also gonna be annoying, but I guess that's more acceptable than watching super loud TV. And you know what? After a while, he was like, "Okay, I'll put them on."
That's good. Good, good. Yeah, honestly, I think some people need to learn, or more so, some parents need to learn how to behave on planes because, oh my goodness, speaking of, like, entitled parents on flights, I have the most horrible story you could imagine. This did not happen to me, it happened to my husband, thankfully, because if I had been there, I think I would have flipped. Yeah. What happened was that these parents, I think they may have been seated, like, across the aisle from them. These parents were, like, changing their baby's diaper in their seat and just
Ew.
throwing the dirty diapers in that aisle, expecting, I guess, the flight attendants to pick it up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No. Oh my gosh, that's disgusting. You're not supposed to do that. I'm pretty sure that's like, you are not supposed to do that. I think that's like in the rules somewhere that you're not supposed to change diapers outside of the bathroom. It's so unsanitary. Somebody has to go sit in that seat afterwards. Ew. And then not even to mention the people that
Yeah,
are still there having to witness this horrific event. Oh my gosh, that's disgusting. Oh, wow.
and the smells.
Yeah. Ugh, God, the smell. Was it number 2? Did you say it was number 2 or number 1 or both?
It was. Yep.
Oh,
Nope, it was.
nasty, that's even worse. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so horrible. I mean, I get it, the changing tables in those bathrooms are so small. Like, I think when I took the little one the last time I had to use it, I think he was like 1.5, and at that point, he was already too tall for it, but I was like, I mean, what are you gonna do? You have to I'm not gonna change him in the seat, that's disgusting. But, you make it work because you have to. You're
Yeah,
just I mean, I don't know, that's so disgusting. It's so unsanitary, and nobody wants to see your
yeah,
kids behind and private parts. Also, your kid, although they're little, like, give them some dignity, jeez.
yeah. No, totally agreed. I mean, that has got to be the worst passenger story I think I've ever heard in my life.
100%, that is disgusting, and I can't believe that the
Yeah.
flight attendants were not like, "What are you doing? No, you can't do that."
Maybe they came around later, I'm not really sure about this part of the story, I need to confirm, but I was just, like, too shocked, and I don't remember if he said anything about that. I mean, yeah, they should definitely say something.
It's so disgusting, I can't believe oh my gosh, that's horrible. Yeah. Yeah, some parents, I don't know. Also, there's a like, I was on a horror flight several years ago, this was before I had kids, but the people in front of me, their kid we were going to Spain, so it was a very long flight, it was like 10 hours or something. The kid in front of us screamed the entire time. I think finally towards the end, like, the last maybe hour, the kid finally passed out, but I'm telling you, out of the 10 hours, the kid screamed from the beginning of the flight, like, before we even took off, all the way through the end. It was horrible, and of course, it was right in front of us. The parents didn't do anything. Like, they tried a little bit at first, but then they just gave up, which, okay, I can kind of understand because after a while, you're just like, "Well, what am I gonna do?" But, like, dude, pick that kid up, walk it around. I don't know. Like, you gotta do something about that. That's horrible. That was one of the worst flights we've ever taken. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Wow, yeah, that sounds awful, like, you can't sleep or anything, you're so right, giving some good advice, I think, to parents, like, get up, walk them around, they're probably really exhausted just sitting in one place, and, oh my goodness, I'm thinking now, like, the best thing I would love it if there was, like, a compartment for children on planes.
Yeah, as a parent, I would actually like that because then I wouldn't have to be so stressed because I'm the kind of parent that stresses out if my kids are, like, doing anything that might bother the people around them, so I would be like, "Fine, go nuts with your peers. I'll just put in my headphones and I'll be fine."
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's a good idea, and I would say put them in the back. You know why? Because something else that annoys me, I'm not gonna say, like, that it's kids, but, like, anybody who is very slow grabbing their bags once we land. I it's not like I when we land, for example, I'm already looking, "Okay, where's my bag?" I'm putting my backpack on. I'm trying to be ready. I don't want to be delaying anyone. I think I'm just so considerate. And I'm hoping everyone else is, but some people take their sweet time, and I'm like, "Goodness gracious, if I need to get a connection too, and we're delayed and stuff like that, what are you doing? Please hurry up." I mean, have some sort of consideration for your fellow passengers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I totally get that. Also, just having the kids be in the back of the plane would be better because then they're closer to the bathroom, which is another thing. Like, my kids get up, to go to the bathroom several times, which is fine. I like to get up and stuff, but I'm sure that it annoys people that, like, when they see the same person, it's like, "Oh my gosh, again," you know? But I don't have a choice. I have to get up. With
Yeah.
the kids, I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, and speaking of getting up, has it ever happened that when someone gets up behind you, you're sleeping, they just grab your seat and, like,
Shake it.
move it when you mhm, mhm. Why?
Oh, one time I was sleeping and somebody grabbed my head when they did that. They, like, grabbed my whole head
Oh,
and, like, I mean, they immediately took it off, but it
oh
scared
my
me. And I was like, "Oh my gosh." "Get your hand off me, please.
Yeah.
What's going on?" Like, you shouldn't have to grab someone else's seat to,
Yeah.
like, get up. Like, I'm sorry, you gotta have a little bit more respect for the people in front of you. Like, I know there's not a whole lot of space, but grabbing the seat and shaking it in front of you, that's so rude. Use the armrest.
Yeah. Oh, and one thing going back to, like, when we land and we're taxiing or something to the gate and people are really slow, but what about the people who get up, like, before the seatbelt sign goes off? Those people are really annoying too.
They're really annoying, and they're also that's so unsafe, because I've also been on a flight where we were still taxiing and somebody got up and was, like, opening the compartment to take their luggage down, and that's so dangerous because you're still moving, like, that stuff could fall on someone's head. The flight attendant actually had to come on and was like, "Get down, like, sit back down, we haven't stopped this plane, like, that's so dangerous," like, started yelling at this person, and they, like, immediately sat back down, but I was like, "Are you dumb? What is wrong with you?"
Yeah. No, that's so dangerous. Very, very annoying.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, and one other thing I'm thinking about is, like, okay, we're all trapped in this tin can in the air, and then people who bring, like, smelly foods on the plane. When I was flying recently, this lady, okay, 2 things. She was talking on the phone really loud the entire time we were waiting there. We were delayed, so she was on the phone this entire time that we're just sitting there and then taxiing, but then she also brought yogurt with her, and I'm thinking, "How long have you had this in your purse?" And it just smelled so bad, and I'm like, "Why are you doing this?" That is
Gross.
just so frustrating.
Yeah, people bringing smelly foods on planes. Why do you do that? I've had somebody have, like, a sandwich with onions on it, and I was like, "Why would you do that? It's so smelly." And then your breath smells, and then you're, like, trying to talk to people, and everybody can smell that. That's so gross.
I know. Oh, and last thing I was gonna say about the smells. Okay. I don't know if this happens to a lot of people, but I swear, I feel like this happens to me every time I'm on a flight. There is someone who is just farting constantly. And it's like you get a whiff of fresh air and then they do it again and you don't know who it is. And what are you gonna do about it anyways? It's just awful.
That's gross.
Oh, that's like the last thing I think I'm gonna say about passengers.
Or BO.
Or BO, yes.
Yeah,
Please,
BO's
if you know you're gonna be seated very closely next to a lot of people, can you please put on deodorant and perfume and, like, make yourself presentable? I know that it's not like the 1950s when people were flying with, like, gloves and a whole getup, but please, at least the smell thing, we still need to be a little civil, please.
Yeah, and the body odor more than anything is just unbearable. I can't stand it. Like, I fly with deodorant in my, like, my personal bag, so I can just, like, grab it real quick and, like, even put it on just, like, in my seat, which I haven't had to do, thankfully, but I'm like, if I start to feel like like I'm starting, like, maybe I might start smelling, I'll put it on, and, like, honestly, I feel like people would prefer watching me put on deodorant than me smelling bad. Like, that's, like, my biggest fear. I don't wanna smell bad, so I always
Mhm.
have deodorant with me. I don't know, maybe I'm the only weirdo, but I
Yeah,
just
that's a good
I
tip.
can't stand BO, and I don't wanna be the person that has that, so I feel like people, if you are more prone to sweating or something, just carry it with you. Like, run to the bathroom and put it on real quick, or just put it on in your seat. No one will care.
Yeah, agreed. That's a really good tip, actually.
Yeah, I think those are all some pretty horrible stories. Do you have anything else you can think of?
I think not right now, but I will be flying soon, so we'll probably have to do a follow-up episode because there's lots of things. I mean, every flight is an opportunity to witness insane things. And I'd love to hear from our listeners too. What are the crazy horror stories that you have? Please let us know. And remember to like and comment and follow us at the WPS podcast and DM us with all your insane stories. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the WPS podcast. We hope to see you next time. We said it so you didn't have to.
See you next time. Bye.